Alright, so this is the third video for midterm truth sample test. We're gonna discuss about the last 4 questions on this sample test. And it's gonna be focused on chapter 10, WACC, weighted average cost of capital. Okay, so let's first look at question 12. So this firm estimates that its average risk projects have a WACC of 10%. Its below average risk projects have a WACC 8%. And its above average risk projects have a WACC of 12%. Which of the following projects, A, B, or C, should the company accept? Okay, so again, remember, this is actually testing our knowledge on the risk-adjusted WACC line. Remember, we have discussed in our chapter 10 before that, if we let me draw the graph here. Okay, if we're looking at different projects and if they have different project return, we need to compare the return of the project to the WACC of the firm at the same risk level. Okay, composite WACC line might be just a set number like this. Say if it's 10%. We cannot use composite WACC. We need to use a risk-adjusted WACC line like this. Okay, for x-axis, this is risk. For low-risk projects, we have a lower WACC. For high-risk projects, we have a higher WACC. And any point above the line means that the project has a return higher than the WACC of the same risk level, so we should accept the project. And any projects below the line we should reject because the return is below their cost. Okay? You can refer to our notes in chapter 10 if you don't remember this anymore. So here, when we make decisions about project ABC, we should compare their return with the WACC of the similar risk. Okay, so let's look at option A. This is talking about project B, which is of below average risk and has a return of 8.5%. Okay, so B could probably be here, somewhere here. It has low risk and it has a return of 8.5%. So we should compare its return to the WACC for below average risk projects, which is 8%. Okay, so this 8.5% return is higher than the WACC of 8% for below average risk projects. Should we accept it? Yes. Okay, so option A is correct because project B has a return higher than the WACC for low risk projects. Okay, option B says project C, which is of above average risk, has a return of 11%. Okay, so it has above average risk and has a return of 11%. Let me mark it in red. And let's see, above average risk projects has a WACC of 12%. So here the return is lower. Okay, it's lower than 12%. Should we accept it? No, we should reject it because the return is below 12%. Okay, unlike option A, it has it has a return above 8%, the WACC. Okay, so we accept A and reject. We accept project B and reject project C. So option C is not correct. Option D, project A, which is of average risk and has a return of 9%. Let me mark it as blue. Okay, and average risk projects has WACC of 10%. So this return is also smaller than WACC 10% for average risk projects. So we should reject it. Okay, E, none of these should be accepted. That's not correct. Okay, so this is question 12. Probably I should move the graph a little bit. Okay. I should. Okay, Okay, I'll just leave it like this. Question 13. If a company's tax rate increases, then all else equal, its weighted average cost will decline. Okay, so let's see what happens to WACC when T increases. So tax rate increases. WACC, according to the formula, okay, let's go to the formula sheet. WACC, chapter 10 formula sheet equals WD multiplied by RD multiplied by 1 minus T plus WP multiplied by RP plus WC multiplied by RS. Let me copy and paste it here. Okay, so it's the 3 weights multiplied by the 3 returns. And for that, we have tax adjustment here. When T increases, 1 minus T will decrease, right? So WACC should decrease too. Okay, so this statement is actually true. Question 14. You are hired as a consultant to this firm whose target capital structure is 40% for debt, 15% for preferred stock, and 45% for common equity. The after-tax cost of debt is 6%. The cost of preferred stock is 7.5%, and the cost of retained earnings is 15.75%. The firm will not be issuing any new stock. What is its WACC? Okay, so we have W. Again, we want to calculate WACC here. Let me copy and paste again the formula here. Okay. Okay, so here WD, weight for debt is 40%. Okay, and our RD, return for debt, okay, the before tax cost of debt is unknown. However, we know after tax cost of debt, it is 6%. It is the whole thing here. RD multiplied by 1 minus T. This whole thing is after tax cost of debt. Okay, we can multiply by 6% plus WP, weight for preferred stock. It should be 15% here. Multiplied by RP, cost of common equity, cost of preferred stock, So it's 7.5% plus WC cost weight for common equity. So it's 45%. And we multiply by cost of retained earnings, RS. Okay, we use WC weight for common stock multiplied by RS, cost of common stock, 15.75%. Okay, and add them up. So we could have 10.61%. Okay, let's finally look at question 15, the last question here. Let me try not to put anything in the table and do something outside of the table. Okay, so we have perpetual preferred stock sells for $65 per share. It pays 7.5 annual dividend. If the company were to sell a new preferred issue, it would incur a flotation cost of 3% of the price paid by investor. What is the company's cost of preferred stock for use in calculating the WACC? Okay, so we're solving for RP, cost of preferred stock. Okay, and we know the current price, P0, as 65. So let me list the conditions we know here. So we know our P0 stock price, or PP, the price for preferred stock. Okay, PP equals $55. Okay, the dividend for the preferred stock, DP, is $7.5. Okay, and we also know the flotation cost, F, as 3%. Okay, we want to solve for RP. Okay, we want to solve for RP. Well, let me use the capital R. Return of the preferred stock equals, okay, remember our original model, because our preferred stock price equals DP over RP, right? The present value of this perpetuity equals the payment, DP over RP. So RP becomes DP over PP for regular preferred stock. But here, preferred stock is a new issue. So we need to use 1 minus F multiplying by preferred stock as the denominator. Okay, so if I want to show this in a better, clearer way, I should probably use this fraction here. Okay, so we have DP as our denominator and PP multiplied by 1 minus F as our denominator. Okay, the original model does not have 1 minus F, but here we added 1 minus F here. Okay, so this gives us DP 7.05 divided by PP $65 multiplied by 1 minus 3%. This should give us 11.9%. Okay, so this helps us to choose option C. Okay, so this is the answer to all these 15 questions. Again, you can look at our formula sheet here. For chapter 9, we have constant growth model, P0 equals all the dividend discounted. And for the constant growth model, we have D1 over R minus S, or D0 multiplied by 1 plus G over RS minus S. And if dividends are growing at the rate of G, then dt equals D0 multiplied by 1 plus G to the power of T. Okay, and here this equation tells us that if price grows at the rate of G, then PT equals P0 multiplied by 1 plus G to the power of T. Pn equals dn plus 1 over Rs minus G2 for the two-stage model. Rs equals d1 over p0 plus g. G equals Rs minus d1 over p0. These two are the alternative versions of the original constant growth model. And this is the two-stage model. Okay, and then we have free cash flow model discounted to have the corporate valuation model. Constant growth model version, free cash flow 1 over WACC minus G equals value of the firm. Value of preferred stock equals dividend over return of the preferred stock. Capital gains yield is G, okay, or P1 minus P0 over P0. Dividend yield, E1 over P0, and it's also R minus G in the constant growth model setting. Chapter 10, WACC formula. Okay, return of the preferred stock is dp over pp. So for new issue, it's dp over pp multiplied by 1 minus f. Stock return is also bond return plus the stock over bond risk premium. For new issue of common equity, the return is d1 over p0 multiplied by 1 minus f plus g. Okay, and we also have more explanations on the solutions of all the questions for the 15 questions at the end of the file. Okay, I hope most of you got most of the questions right when you first do it yourself. And if you have further questions on any of these questions, you can always email me or make an appointment with me on Zoom. All right, I will and discuss about the next few chapters, chapters 11, 12, and 13 in the next few videos, and then we will review for the final exam. Okay, and for the final exam, we're gonna conduct the exam on Canvas. All right, so I will talk to you more in the next video.